Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Dose. I think we can call this the Korean special because PB's going to Koreatown. Now, all jokes aside, I am on the Yazoo application on. I think I can link it. It is in Android Play. It might be something called a little bit different, maybe on BlueStacks or Apple. I'm not sure. I don't have either of those yet. But basically, we're on 316. I've been playing this for, I want to say, about a week and a half ish. We're going to talk a little bit about the pros and cons of the Korean server opposed to the global. So, for all those that are wondering about maybe coming across to the Korean or testing it out, there is there's a lot to absorb, and there's definitely some things that I would like to see Global incorporate into their game mode. And at the end, I'll just sort of surmise everything and give my overall opinion. I'm pretty sure I know which way I'm leaning just based on the first. You can tell, generally, in the first 2 weeks of a game, you can pretty much suss everything out. So we're on day four of the second rotation. Um, One thing that I would say is the most notable thing is that, and this is what everybody says, it is easy to get legendaries and it is very, very generous on this server. Now, I would 100% agree that it is quite generous. As you can see, we're maybe 11 days in on a free to play account. Spoiler alert, this is the first free to play account that I've done on Dynasty Scrolls. But yeah, I mean, I've already got Zhao Yu. I've got the SSS sword, which is still the newest, by the way, in the catalog, is still the SSS sword, so the 7-star sword. I mean, I'm just chilling at the moment. We've got three base legendaries. I will, of course, be endeavoring to build the full team and be checking out the special heroes as well as they appear. What I will say is it's I would use this more of a testing ground than anything. I feel like on the channel, it is not as fun as global. I'll begin with saying that it's not as fun as global. If you thought global was bad in terms of just the difference between megalodons and normal players, then this pretty much times it by 10 because that's how bad it becomes. Although it is a lot easier to play as a free to play player, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be even remotely able to hang with all the cool kids. This is a new server bracket. Granted, the server that we're on is a little bit older. I think coming in at 316 out of 301. We're kind of like in the middle, which is not fantastic. Um, Mainly, you're gonna fight people, and again, this is all in Korean, by the way. So that's probably my biggest pros and cons, depending on if you are fluent in the language or not. But for me, an English speaker, and for the majority of our audience, having English as a second language, not having Korean as a first or second language, it is pretty difficult to figure shit out. I feel like this guy is like at 129 million, or 12 million, I should say, not 129. I feel like he's at 12 million power, and I'm only at 2 million power, and this guy doesn't appear to be a VIP. So definitely some interesting things going on here. You can generally tell if they're VIP by their skin. Maybe I think he's a VIP 5. It's pretty similar wherever you go, whoever you're fighting, even in our ranking system. Like you can generally tell the guys in global capacity and in, well, it's not even giving us global, which is interesting. But even here, like, you've got people that have whaled out, have already 7-starred their things, and are already building their special heroes, which is fantastic. I mean, that's the direction that global is eventually going to go towards. Um, but honestly, this has been out for, like, I want to say 10 days, and guys have already got that on server brackets. I don't know if these guys are even in our server or if this is global. Again, it's very hard to tell because it's all in Korean. You can't really tell if these are actually the dudes in our server or not. Um, I know they're in our region at least, but yeah, you can definitely see the difference between if me if I tried a whale on my account, I wouldn't have anywhere near the same power level as these guys would on global. Um, but in saying that, I mean, it's still a fun ride. The concept has remained the same. Legions, there's nothing too special going on here. So shout out to the Spicy Legion. That's our Legion, and you can check us out in the Discord if you want to join in the link in the description box below. You can come in and say hello if you're seeing this from the Spicy. They are very generous in terms of the just the rewards that they give you. They give you a lot of summonings. They give you a lot of gear. They basically give you free Vanquisher set gear. Even the 7 day rewards, a lot of it is gold. A lot of it is, well, this is obviously, I mean, it's the worst legendary weapon out there, but they give you as a reward. The first 7 days, they gave you basically a legendary hero, 120 shards. So you get your first free legendary in 1 week. Um, and the event cycles are fairly consistent. So we've got arms race at the moment. I will say though, generating gold is a lot harder on this server for some reason. I don't know why, and I'm pretty good at doing it. So yeah, it's interesting how we're generating gold here. I could just be that there's so many events that have come up consistently that is causing us to spend it. This is like an SP event, so there's special heroes. Unfortunately, I can't read what the fuck this person does, so I'm kind of guessing that she's good or he's good. I think it's a she. If I, yep, she's good. I know Dank Stash is supposed to be one of the best out there, so I don't even know if this is Woo. I assume she's Woo because she's holding a book that's on fire, or a lotus leaf on fire. I can't even tell because the writing's in the way. But in terms of like drop rates, though, it's pretty fucking shit. 0.2%. Actually, legendary drops on other servers are better at 0.38%. So is it 0.038%? Maybe this is better than other servers. I have to have a look. Maybe it is slightly better, but still, it's a 0.2% chance to get a full copy of this chick. The pity system only gives you 40, and you obviously need 130 to build her. And as you can see, others have already wailed out and done that. As you could probably tell, these guys are pretty strong. I mean, we can give it a go. I don't think it's really going to hurt us in the long run. I'll do a 10 bomb. Maybe we get lucky. Maybe we don't. Obviously, being able to get the legendary shard chests makes it a little bit more worthwhile. But I will show you in a second. Legendary shard chests are easy to come by in this game mode. I Yeah, I mean, fucking 10 days into it, I'm pretty much setting myself up to build the fourth legendary hero. I mean, we've still even got 30 shards left, so I could potentially start focusing on another legendary weapon, which I think I'll do instead of trying to 1 star the 7 star sword. I might try to build some other ones as well. But yeah, just in terms of what you can get access to, Legendary seems to be quite accessible. Mythic tier stuff like the weapons, like the armor pieces, stuff like that, even the pets, they all look a little bit different for obvious reasons. Um, but you can still get them. It's just it's probably going to take a little bit longer and a lot more RNG. They kind of just give you legendaries, is what I'm trying to get at. A lot of stuff is just giving you legendaries, and that's fine. I mean, that's kind of to be expected. And if this is an example of way that global's going, then I would probably recommend people on global maybe just not focusing as much on building the legendary teams up and just start to be mindful that we will eventually transition into other forms of heroes, other forms of monsters and gear. Although how long will that be? Who knows? I mean, Chinese servers probably looks very similar to this as well. There are some cool things though. I would say this mode here is probably my favorite aspect of the game to boot. So obviously we can't read Korean, so we're just going to skip ahead here. but we'll just try to jump into it as quickly as possible. So here, instead of your normal versions of where you have to fight the enemy, you still cost stamina, of course. You would normally click in there and you would click a couple of times and you actually have to watch the battle and then skip it if you have subscription. Here you just click on the dudes and it auto fights it. I feel like this is probably the best aspect that I can think of that they could integrate into global is just the auto battle function. Um, Obviously, it it's going to like people probably will get a little bit. I mean, look, if you like the story mode, and trust me, I've read most of the story mode while I was doing it on the Warlord account. It is funny as fuck, but you don't really want to, if you want to have a small, finite amount of time to grind stuff out within a day, you don't really want to just be bogged down in doing this. Now, the last boss you can't skip. You actually have to fight them physically. Like it's still auto battles and stuff like that. They don't have a times two speed down here, but I'll show you a interesting way of doing it. In fact, it kind of breaks the game, but in a way you have to use it, and we'll show you that feature in a second. Because if you don't use it, you're pretty much just going to be you're not going to be able to maximize your time, which I think maybe that's just a Korean cultural thing, or maybe it's just an Asian cultural thing where people like to do speed runs. But they definitely allowed that in this feature, and I'll show you that in a second. You can't really skip any of this either. You're just going to have to go through the motions. What's interesting is you can get past all these stages on one, similar to the global battle. You don't have to get like a full completion. You can just sort of you can muddle along as quickly as you want to, and go back later on and fix that up. But what's interesting to note too is that they have a select all chest function as well, so you don't have to physically go in there and collect all the bullshit. But here's this little chick. I don't think she's Little Q or Little Quao or whatever you want to name her. It goes up to four times speed or nine times speed. Sorry, not four times speed. I'll show you what nine times speed does. It basically just speeds up the processor in the game and makes shit go real quick. So when I was talking about in previous videos that you could literally farm this out within about 45 minutes to say 6 star or even 7 star, if you had over 2 billion power level, you could probably do it quite quickly. Obviously, you still have to fight the last guy, which is this guy here, but I'll show you what the battles look like. It actually speeds up everything within the game processor, so even these long ass tedious battles that might go to round like 5 or 6, depending on your team, um, if they're not crashing it, that is, like, it still feels like a normal fight. I don't know. They've just sped this up. You can basically, as I was saying, if you had over 2 billion power, you could probably do up to 6 star. Your main protagonist. Yeah, I reckon it'd take you about 30 seconds a stage. Probably half an hour, 45 minutes, depending on your RNG. You could smash this out to a 6 star if you whaled on the Korean server. And then I don't know how long, or I actually don't know the power level. Probably around 3 to 4 billion power would be what I would think to get to 7 star requires. Maybe a little bit higher. But you could probably you test that out yourselves. But that game feature is kind of call it rabbit mode, I guess. It makes playing normal mode really hard. It makes it playing really hard. But in saying that, I don't actually enjoy it. I only really want to turn it up for certain aspects, like doing the side quests, doing the story mode quests. Everything else, I kind of turn it down a little bit and just roll with it. Everything is same in terms of like progress wise, functional updates. The whole concept of the game is exactly the same. The only thing is obviously introducing different levels, different currency, different events, different heroes, and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't know how far ahead they're going to be on in terms of global. There are like other aspects too. If you're talking about it in terms of like value for money, It actually works out to be surprisingly worse for Australians to purchase packs here than it does for if you were to purchase them on the global. It works out to be about 10% more expensive, give or take. So that's interesting. Like you just got like these additional things. I feel like all the additional things like this really helps. Make that little bit of extra I want to log on for today. So this is like your activeness reward for 7 days. They give you this. I don't know how many times I'll repeat this. It's only got 2 days to go, but like you can see, like you get free gold, free shards, free stamina. Pretty good. Obviously the rebates are huge too. Like I said, like legendary is pretty much replaces epics in terms of global. So legendary is the common as epics on these servers. Um, you got like pretty like the events are the same. You're doing your arena battles. Um, I'll show you in a second arena as well who the top dogs are if I can see that. What's the other one that I wanted to do? So the value packages are sort of niche as well. You can pick what you need. What else is there? Okay, so there is this one which is I know it does appear on global. We're going to try and chase down some copies of this sword, so I'm going to do all 80 regardless. Now, I could speed this up and do the times 9, but fuck it, we'll just do it like this. We'll do it nice and slow. Hopefully, we drop a full copy. As far as I can tell, it's still the same percentage at 1.09%, which is the same as global. Some of the drop rates have increased here as well, mainly the legendary drop rates for what I've seen in the events. That rate has increased, so that's not a bad thing. I think this might be my last pull. Yep, didn't really get anything additional, which is surprising that we didn't actually get a full copy. But that's fine. We get the Dragon Lance. I think I have enough shards in the bag maybe to build this Dragon Lance as well. Perfect score there, by the way, getting that 80. Was that enough? No. Okay, so we had enough to build this one. I mean, the reality is you're not really going to be focusing too hard on this, are you? We'll level up the Soul Sword because that's what we're going to use. We're going to got you. We got him on Sun Quan. Sun Quani boy's got it to do the stuns, a little bit more damage, a little bit more crit. Um, and what's the other one? In terms of the bag, I feel like we could probably. We're 10 short. We're 10 short. We'll get that eventually. No doubt tomorrow we'll get some more shards for free anyway. But yeah, in a nutshell, um it's not as I feel like it's and this is may come off a little bit pretentious or skeptical, but I feel like global is more legitimate in terms of power scaling and progress. It feels like you're making like significant progress in global, whereas this like it's they're almost just shitting on the fact that you're getting legendaries. It doesn't feel like an achievement being able to build out a full legendary team, even as a free to play. It just doesn't have that same awe factor or wow factor. Um, and because everybody can do it, it means you're not even special. Which I know it might sound a little bit, prideful, but the reality is most people play this game because they want to be number one or they want to be competitive, even in their own little small pool. Um, so when you look at it from that perspective, it doesn't feel as satisfying playing this. I'm playing this casually. I'm really just playing this to check out some of the new monsters. So why don't we do that? Why don't we jump into some galleries? Even I honestly don't even know where the galleries are. Like they throw in all these additional things which seem really fantastic, like your first events. They'll give you free items. Like when you first do achievements within like your towers, and they got some cool stuff up here that we don't have access to in global. Like this thing, I'd like to play with that. That's very similar to Dynasty um, Warriors. Dynasty Hero, sorry, of the Warriors. There's a few things in here that you definitely look at and you go, shit, that'd be cool to cover on global. That's going to be a lot more fun. Obviously, it's going to be a lot more. I want to say relatable because obviously it's going to be in English language. Like this system here, again, that's pretty cool. But I don't know how to get it. I obviously I can't purchase them or equip them because I don't have them at the moment. And I feel like they're integrating little things like totems. For anyone that's curious, because I know Arms Race is up on the global service, you can get the gold feathers for 150 and you can get the silver feathers for 200. I don't know why the thunder feathers are worth 200. That makes no sense. Maybe they're a different type of feather. Maybe this is like the upgraded version of a thunder feather. Why is that 200? That makes zero sense. But anyway, there you go. Um, and you can see that they've got like new SP or super legendary combines. So this is going to be something that we need to be aware of for global. With the release of the Mystic or Mythic heroes, you're going to need to have some of these as the combo charms. I can't read this. I don't fucking know anything that's going on right now in terms of the language barrier, but they look interesting. But as you can see, you're going to need to have the super or special heroes, depending on what you want to call them. There's old mate Dank Stash here. He's a bit of a beast. He looks pretty sexy. You know, who doesn't like a mustache, right? Um, but apart from that, there really doesn't seem to be too much else going on. Uh, these like look like little totem things that you can use. Beasts. You got the Thunder Kitty, which is very similar to Dynasty Heroes. Yeah, like Azura Dragon, Tiger. What's this guy? I forget what this guy was called in Dynasty Heroes. Maybe he is the Thunder Kitty and this guy's the different guy. I don't know. Anyway, they look like Pokemon. Um, what else is there? So for I think I don't even know what these are. That's interesting. We can check some of those ones out later on. These look like maybe the SP versions of legendary weapons, maybe mythic weapons. That's pretty cool. So yeah. Oh, okay. Well, these are the ones we're definitely going to get these ladies. They're definitely coming to global. I don't think any of these guys. I don't think Dankstash is coming to global. I only feel like the top four, being all these lovely ladies, are actually the only ones that are coming to our servers. But either way, it looks pretty fun. These look like legendary relics. Interesting. And I assume you use these somewhere along the journey. Yeah. Okay. And as you can see, all the legendary stuff is at the bottom. Pretty much. The skins are pretty cool. So you can get skins for Dank Stash. He looks pretty cool there. I don't know half of the other characters, not gonna lie, but they all look pretty cool. I like what the direction of the game potentially is going in. It's just going to be a real shock to a lot of people that are watching this on the global and going, "Oh fuck!" So there's like six other ranks above what I'm even trying to get. What's the purpose? It is a bit of a reality check. I don't know if they'll take the exact same direction as they are on Korean, Chinese, Taiwanese servers. It could just be slightly different. It could be a combination of both. But we all know that we're going to get the mystic or mythical purple heroes to drop potentially this month, maybe next month at the latest. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, on Global, we're going to be building that on the account 100%. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this video so far, do you have any comments? What do you want to see on the Korean server in general? I'm just testing this out on a free to play account, but in terms of like what would you like to see me do? I'm open to suggestions. Obviously, I could go with a hybrid. What's the first special hero you want to see me build? Do you have any suggestions? Are there any people that are playing Korean server and global as well? Can you translate some of this stuff? Hit me up in the Discord because I'd be curious to know some of the beasts, some of the weapon sets, things to look out for. I know we do have a person in the official Discord that does this as well, which is fantastic. Don't want to steal their thunder or anything like that. But as a gameplay, as an investor in the whole DS journey, I'd really like to maybe check that out and see. Oh yeah, actually, you know what? We need to grab some of that. We need to grab some of that. Come on. I did before I get sidetracked. There are some other things too here. So they've got like triple story modes, which is kind of weird. They are hard though. Not gonna lie, I'll have to progress through them on my own sort of time. But the rewards are pretty basic. They give you artifacts similar to the time artifacts. In the chapters themselves, they sort of give you some currency. It's kind of like an introductory, I guess, to the time theme of global. I wonder if they'll introduce that here as well. But if we're looking at sort of some of the other rewards that we can get for gold, where is it? Gold. So still 50 is the max. But you can buy these treasure chests, which I feel like yeah, that's it's kind of a game changer. Being able to just buy out Generation 5 shards for 1,000 gold. I mean, you could almost just debate what's the point of buying out the gold merits, except for the fact that you probably want the wings. But yeah, like I feel like they've introduced a lot of new concepts with gold, which is great. So you can buy out some of the other things that personally weren't available. And probably what we can look forward to in global is being able to buy some stuff with gold if you've got the spare gold. Of course, remember you need 61k to do all the events, but I was pretty excited to see that you could actually buy them. That's how I got Zashi the first time. Was with like an event currency and some gold. I was managed to buy him out and build him, so I was pretty happy about that. So there's some things maybe we can look forward to. Progress wise, like I said, legendary heroes are pretty common in this game mode. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there. Let me know, like I said, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, notification button, and I'll see you all in the next one. We will be covering the arms race event on the Warlord account. Yes, and I'll be building some shit. Anyway, I'll see you there.